Okay, so let me give a little update. I'm just getting up and starting my day. And as always, I think I'm on day 4. Today is Sunday. I got here Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wow, my 5th day. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Dag, my 5th day. And I'm just getting comfortable. So it always happens like this. By the time you really grow into loving and appreciating a place and having a little fun and meeting a few people, it's almost time to go. But I'm not going to let that stress me. I cannot say enough how glad I am. Why do my cheeks look swollen? How glad I am that I booked a 7-day trip. That was perfection, because if I had to try to fit everything in, it's easier to get to know the culture. Like right now, just hearing all that salsa music, sitting on this balcony, watching the water, and all that's going on in the little city. It's worth it. So again, to stay on to the budget information, because I just have been WhatsApping with the guy to do my Palenque tour, and I really do need to go. He just messaged me. I really need to go to the Palenque tour. I have to, because it's the African heritage. It just, I feel like that's the one thing. Whenever I heard about Cartagena, I was like, I gotta do that at least. But the tour is, for every price I've seen, it's been about $100. And I'll pay it. It's not a big deal. I'll pay it. But I paid less than that for my flight here. And almost double that. It's half of what I'm paying for this Airbnb. So when you make it relative to what you've been spending, $100 is a lot. And even relative to my other travels, most tours are not $100 that I go on. The horseback riding, now usually that's more expensive. But all the other tours are usually, 40, 50. I think. I don't know, because I'm not a tourist. I cannot say enough. I'm a traveler. I'm not a tourist. My goal when I go somewhere is just to kind of taste it, smell it, feel it, hear it. I don't have to party. But if I end up partying and have a good time, that's great too. I always love the beach. I always love the mountains. The volcano mud bath thing. Sometimes I get swayed because I watch these videos and I start, and that's why I say in a lot of my videos, I'm trying to give the information that a person like me would want. What's the real deal? Because I don't travel for Viator and Airbnb experiences and all that kind of stuff. That's not how I travel. And most people that I converse with, that's how they travel. They vacation. They do the tours. But that's not me. I just want to kind of experience a different place. I'm fine getting on my iPad, sitting on a beach and watching the same crap, Love and Hip Hop. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop. It's been in the news this week. But I have. Not to say I've never watched it. I'm just saying, whatever stupid show I'm watching, this week is Project Runway, I'll watch, and Project Runway isn't stupid, by the way. So, that's all I'm trying to do. Have a little fun and meet some people if I do. I haven't really met people on this trip. Colombians kind of are more like New Yorkers. Like, they mind their business. No, New Yorkers are interactive. But they are just more just like Guatemala. This place reminds me so much of Guatemala. And this is my first trip to South America, so I love that. But nevertheless, I just wanted to kind of record the like midway point because I'm already feeling this is that day where I finally have gotten adjusted and I like it and I know what it's about and I've mastered the Uber and selecting correct spots to pick up because I hate Uber in the pickup spot. It's so complicated. It is so in Madrid it was a nightmare trying to get an Uber because the pickup spot, I guess Uber just randomly chooses somewhere close to you that's in a foreign language. You don't know the streets. So you're like, yeah, confirm pickup spot. And then you don't really know where that is. Uber doesn't seem to know how to pinpoint. So what I did learn on this trip, thank God, is that you can kind of put your finger on that pickup spot and move it until you really find where you are. You can pin it. And so I'm not going to go all over the place, but the bottom line is the 7 days was a hit, and I wanted to just run down the cost because as I was just talking to the tour guide and I told him my prices, he was like, wow. And that's when I realized, like, yeah, this is great. People pay $300 to come here. I paid $90. $250 for an Airbnb with 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a pull-out sofa, so 6 people could sleep here for $250 for the week. I'm in a neighborhood called Torrices, which apparently is not a good neighborhood. I didn't know that. That's one of the issues with Airbnb. Airbnb will also, like Uber, with the locations, I put in a neighborhood that I wanted to be in. And of course, we know how to use search filters, right? So I guess I should have put Getsemani only. But I guess I didn't. I was rushing because I'm always either planning the next trip. I was out of town last week. So I don't have always the time to focus on all the little details of the next trip. So anyway, I try not to close this door the whole way because what if I got locked out here? Especially without my phone. That would be a nightmare. I even had to get adjusted. It takes a minute. I had to get adjusted to the weather and what to wear in this weather. Because it's really hot. And most places, even if they have air, it's not that good air. And you have to keep that in mind, especially if you're not used to traveling a lot and you think it's going to be this beautiful, plush, lush. No, it's not always like that in South and Central America. You're not going to find air, and in Madrid even, and in Barcelona. It was hot, it was uncomfortable, and even if you went in a restaurant, there was no air in Barcelona. You had to find the air. You had to go in one of those, like here I went into a store called Pura. It's like a drugstore, like a CVS. Their air was good. It's like the only place in the library in the walled city that had really good air, full force, cold. These things, it takes you a day or two to figure it out. Then it's time to go. So, today is Sunday. I'm going back to Getsemani and the walled city because I don't know where else to go. I may go to the beach, but my sole reason for going to the beach is to get some sand because I'm a sand collector from every place I go. And at least dip my foot in there and see how clear it is. But I went to the beach last week just so that I wouldn't be tripping here. And because their beaches aren't the same. But I'll still go, and that's why. And plus I forgot my bathing suit. But I have on this, and I think I can get in the water with it. So, yeah, so I can't say anything about my hair because it's a mess. It's a mess. You know, so I will never go to Hair Academy again, because I went there to get my hair done the day before I left, and they let me sit there for 2 hours before they let me know there was no one there that could do what I wanted. And I was like, I'm catching a plane at 6 o'clock in the morning. But hey, that's the other thing about me. These trips are not all about photos. Will I be upset some months or years later when I look at my photos? I'm like, what the world? Probably, but I have so many photos. What do you do with all these photos? You can post. I post, but who wants to see you that much, you know, except your own lover? So yeah, so $90, $2.50. The Uber is $2 each way about. You can get a full meal. I had salmon, plantains. They have this thing called patacones. That's another thing that people don't talk about. These videos, I like the travel vloggers. It's real pretty and it's like a, you know, movie, and they're droning and all that. I mean, I'm not hating on them, but I need some real nitty gritty details, and very few. There are some who give you good details. I really like, and I always shout him out. I think it's Choose to Travel or Choose Travel. I really like him. Love him. Love his energy. Love his vibe. And he gives good information. He's also about budget travel. So he has given pointers. A lot of what he gives, I mean, he probably could be my child. So a lot of what he gives, I was all over the world maybe before this young man was born. So a lot of what he gives is not new to me, but he still gives really good information, especially for like people that need those details. How do I do this? Because one thing he said, I'm like, yeah, I do that. I was just watching one of his videos recently because I was watching videos for here. I go to the grocery store. I get like some bread. This time I got bread, I got eggs. It just depends where I am and what they have. I got cereal that's like kind of disgusting. Like cereal I wouldn't eat at home. But I got some cereal, some milk, because the coffee's really good, even the instant coffee. And they left their Airbnb, that's the one thing they provide is coffee and salt. And the coffee has, there's no sugar and there's no cream. So I figured, okay, I could use this milk for the cereal and the cream. You gotta be very strategic. Like when I was in Florida, I bought a potato or two, onion, salmon. So I made salmon patties because you just need like onion, a little bit of seasoning, and then I made potatoes with it. It was delicious. It was such a delicious little meal that I cooked right in my Airbnb and just saved money. Will I spend money eating out? Sure. I did yesterday. I did a couple of, I'm going to try whatever little stuff. Oh, so speaking of yesterday, and then I'm done. So yesterday, it was a good day to go out because the weather wasn't so intense. And I went out later, and I liked that because I got to see more like the nightlife. And so I was hungry, and I'm walking around, and I kind of wanted some air, I think. And I saw a restaurant. I'm like, I'll just go in here. I think it was called Santana, 22. So I'm still confused. They are kind of on the edges of Getsemani. That's another thing. No video would explain what's the difference. Where do I stay? So Getsemani is like this little town. I'm trying to think of something similar. If I'm from DC, if you know DC, I would compare it to like Adams Morgan. And Adams Morgan, I guess to a New Yorker, is probably kind of like Greenwich Village. But back in the day, Greenwich Village. Because now, I mean, is Greenwich Village even the village anymore. I don't know what it's like because it's changed so much. It's weird when I go there. But it used to be like, vendors and people and lively and a basketball game and some trash and, music coming out of the store, like just a kind of city. I don't know what that is, but certain cities have this like space where everyone goes and there's a lot going on. Getsemani is something like that, but it's not like South Street. Like it's not also where you just see the weirdos and the freaks. I love everyone, weirdos and freaks, but I'm just trying to make a point. So Getsemani is kind of like right outside the city. And I think I did finally get that from all the different videos and me asking questions, but really no one was breaking down what the hell is this walled city. And so the walled city is the tourist trap. So it is, what's the place in New Orleans? The French Quarter in New Orleans. It's just the place where all the tourists are. And there's stores and there's that. So, who wants to be there? And so when I was trying to ask people, they kept saying, yeah, well, stay in Wall City if you can afford it. It's really expensive. First of all, I would have, but I was doing budget travel, $250. Again, my reason for budget travel is not because I'm a cheapo. It's because I want to go more places. And I can either go to 6 different cities or 6 different countries on budget travel and just really count my pennies and make sure this trip will not cost me more than $250 and $90. Definitely not more than $500. It probably won't even cost me $400 total for all that I spent, Ubers, everything. So would I rather have like 6 of these or one trip where I'm doing tours and eating out every day? No, I want to do the 6 quantity over quality for me. I'm not settling for anything dusty. This apartment is nice, well air conditioned and clean. I'm not settling, but I'm also not splurging. So the walled city is for tourists, and it's whenever you find where the Hard Rock Cafe is in the city, that's like, this is a tourist area. Period. And so everything's going to be more. Everything is going to be more. Just the souvenirs, the water, the food, the tours, the tips, everything just goes up because you've got ignorant tourists. And I don't mean that ignorant always seems negative, but I mean literally people who are not aware of what they should be spending, gringos, what have you, and they just come and plunk down money. Okay, this $300 here, and they just pay for it. And so they make it hard on the tourists like me. It's like, that's $300? I'm in Colombia. You want me to pay $300 for a massage? We know that $300, how far it's going. I'm never here to get over on people. I am compassionate to those less fortunate, always. But again, let's not price gouge. Don't play me, basically. So so that's that. So the walled city. So I'm staying here, and my Uber is like $2 down to this main area. Did I want to stay in what's considered a not good neighborhood? No. But the reason just is I'm alone. I don't want to be unsafe. But I like that bus. I don't want to be unsafe. Hold on.